We're very good at jumping. Our eyes are big and round. We can breathe in water and on land as well. We're many different colours. And just listen to the sounds we like to make. What are we? Can you tell? We're frogs. Hello, me dears. The frogs have been laying their eggs in this pond. Look, there are some. Those little black dots are the frogs' eggs. And every egg is protected by a soft ball of jelly. It's called frog spawn. I'd better put it back. Mind you never do this without a grown-up. Ponds can be very dangerous places. Each egg will grow into a tadpole. It takes about 10 days to do this. Then the tadpole's ready to wriggle out of the jelly and join its brothers and sisters. Soon they start to eat tiny green plants growing in the pond. Can you see its tiny mouth? I know a story about a tadpole. There was once a big pond, and there, floating peacefully in the water, was some frog spawn. Suddenly, someone threw a tin can into the pond. It hit the frog spawn, and one of the eggs floated away on its own. The egg grew and changed into a little tadpole who wriggled out and looked around. The first thing he saw was a shoal of tiny fish. That must be my family, he thought, and so he swam after them. The fish were very kind and didn't even try to eat him. One day, the smallest fish said, "Why do you live with us?" "Because I'm a fish like you," said the tadpole. The little fish laughed and laughed. "No, you're not," she said. "I don't know what you are, but you're certainly not a fish." The tadpole felt quite sad. Then he decided the little fish was probably just teasing him. Yes, of course he was a fish. But then one day, he began to grow legs. None of the fish had legs, and the poor tadpole felt very strange. "I told you so," called the little fish. Then, to his surprise, the tadpole began to grow 2 more legs. He felt awful, and he swam away to hide amongst the weeds. Just when he thought things couldn't possibly get any worse, his tail began to shrink. "What's happening to me?" he thought. He stayed hidden in the weeds until one day he felt he just had to breathe some air. So he swam to the top of the pond and took a deep breath. "Hello there," he heard someone call. "Come and join us." And there, sitting on the edge of the pond, were lots of froglets, all his brothers and sisters. "That's what I am," he said. "I'm a frog." There are frogs sitting round our garden pond too. They were all tadpoles once. They like to be near water because they must keep their skin cool and damp. They can breathe on land and underwater. Can you see him? They're sometimes hard to spot because of their muddy colour. It helps them to hide from birds who like to eat frogs. The frogs like living in my garden because there are lots of insects and worms and slugs for them to eat. They catch them with a long, sticky tongue. I know where we can see a really big frog. Pippin, it's time to fly. Down, look all around, up in the air or on the ground. Come for a walk, come for a ride, there's so much to see, so come outside. Bright yellow petals, strong green leaves, seeds that float up on the breeze. We grow in the country, we grow in the town. Seeds as light as thistledown. What are we? We're dandelions. Look, Pippin, I remember that ball. There wasn't much left by the time you'd finished playing with it. Hello, my dears. That's Pippin when she was a puppy. She was only 8 weeks old. I made a video with my camcorder to remind myself what she was like then. Hasn't she grown? She liked to play all the time then. She still likes to play. Oh, this won't do. I must get on with my gardening. Come on. Oh, yes. I do need to do a bit of gardening. I didn't plant these weeds here. They just grew by themselves. Not now, Pippin. Go and play. I need to finish my gardening. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row, 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 and pretty maids all in a row. And look what's growing in my garden. Dandelions. I know where they come from. Let me tell you the story. We were going to have a day out in the city, so I took my camcorder.
won't be long now, Pippin. Look, there it is. Tower Bridge.
First, we went to the Tower of London. There was a wonderful view of Tower Bridge and the river. Boats going under the bridge. Cars and lorries going across. Pippin, you stay there and we'll see how this looks. Come on, Pippin, let's look at the tower. The Tower of London was built hundreds of years ago. Come on, let's go and see. In the old days, boats could sail up the river right to the tower, and people came in through this gate. Then we went to look for the ravens that live in the Tower of London. Oh, look, Pippin! There's one! And another! There are 8 ravens, and they're looked after by the Raven Master.
Hi, how are you?
Very well.
He told me there's a story that as long as the ravens stay here, the tower and the kingdom will be safe. The Raven Master had a very smart uniform. That's because he's one of the yeoman guard who protect the tower. People also call them beef eaters. Perhaps they eat a lot of beef. That would make Pippin a sausage eater.
Bye.
The Tower of London is a very old building, but the city is full of new buildings too. We went to have a look. Walked and walked, and then we found a place by the river where we could sit down. It was very peaceful, even though it was in the middle of the city. I was amazed how things managed to grow there, like those dandelions, growing between the paving stones.